The sole purpose of making this video is to ensure that you save some money and don't buy some of the perfumes that I feel are kind of overhyped by the internet, influencers or reviewers like us. So in this video, I really wanted to talk about a few perfumes which I feel are superly overrated. In case you're new to the channel, my name is Deep and you're watching Scent Saga, and this is another episode of Scent Saga Listicles, where I basically talk about a list of certain perfumes based on certain criterias, and today's criteria is overrated fragrance according to my perspective. Okay, so the first perfume that I want to talk about in this list, which I feel is superly overrated, is this one. This is Shiyaka Shadow, coming from the house of Khadlaj. Okay, I feel this perfume is superly overrated. Okay, by the way, I got this perfume from Whiff Culture. Basically, they helped me out getting this perfume at the discounted rate, and thank you Whiff Culture for helping me source this perfume, although I didn't like it. But as a website, Whiff Culture is awesome. They sell decants, they sell genuine perfumes online, and if in case you're looking for perfumes at a good rate, you can check out Whiff Culture. Although disclaimer, always compare the pricing across your favorite websites to see which one you get at the cheapest price. But in terms of the genuinity, shipping and everything, I didn't have any issue with Whiff Culture, and you can check that out. Shout out to them. So moving back to the perfume, Shiyaka Shadow looks very tacky. I have a perfume from a very different brand. This is French Factor. I have a bottle which is equally tacky. When I received this perfume, I felt like, my God, this looks similar. Although the texture is different, felt like that. Now coming to the perfume, this perfume is selling at around 2,800, 3,000 rupees for 100 ml. And my God, I feel that the DNA is basically redundant. Why? This is trying to clone somewhere between the CH, Carolina Herrera, Cobalt Elixir and Cobalt Blue Electrique. That is what is being said. Although I haven't tested the two DNA, but I can say that once you smell this perfume, you're gonna go like, why is everybody so much hyping up this perfume? In case you own a Dior Sauvage, I think you are good to go. You don't need this DNA. This has got that similar grapefruit, pink pepper, lavender, and a little bit of other spices. And this is just a bit more sour. But I don't feel that the DNA is required. It feels redundant, and I will any day go for a 2,400 rupees clone of Dior Sauvage, which is Afnan Modest Une, if I have to get something that smells like this. The projection and longevity on this one was also not that great. A lot of people are hyping up like 8 hours, 9 hours, the longevities of this perfume. I didn't get something like that. I got around 6 to 7 hours max. And the projection was also moderate, to say the least. Okay. So again, in case you are going by the hype of getting Shiyaka Shadow, please be aware, 3,000 rupees not justified for this perfume in my perspective. It's better to get a Dior Sauvage DNA in case you're looking for something like this. That is my disclaimer, okay? Now let's move on to the next perfume that I feel is very much overrated, which is this one. This is Khadlaj Island, okay? This is said to be a clone of JPJ Le Beau Le Parfum, and I don't want to get into it. I already made a video about this perfume. This was again hyped up like a tropical perfume for the summers and everything. Like, no, for the Indian weather, the summers outside, like the European countries, the summer over there and the summer over here is completely different. This will feel sticky. This will feel heavy during the summers. Maybe during the winters, you might like it. But then again, if you are not into coconut based perfumes or the DNA where the coconut smell is amped up, don't get this one. Still, if you want to try something that smells like this, although not exactly similar to this, is I got a decant from Whiff Culture, but this is basically Najdia Intense, which is said to be a clone of Paradise Garden from the same house, JPJ. But both of them shares almost very similar DNA, just that there is a tad bit difference between the sweetness and the overall experience. But then again, this also has a predominant note of coconut in it, and this perfume sells for around 1,100-1,200, maybe say max 1,300. Get a decant of this. This is very inexpensive in terms of the decant, like 200 to 250 rupees. You're gonna get a decant, or maybe less than that. Try the DNA out, because I think that this perfume is very, very, very overrated, and that is the reason after it got launched, it got bashed at least by me and a few more other reviewers, and quickly the prices started going down. And I don't think this point in time a lot of people in India are at least hyping this up, but reviewers in the West kind of hyped this up a lot. Still, I think it's overrated. My opinion, it can differ from yours. The third perfume or the DNA that I want to talk about is this one. This is Nishane Hacivat. This is a really good DNA. And I'm not talking about this. I am talking about Rasasi Hawas Black. Thank God I didn't buy a full bottle initially, okay? My friend has a full bottle. I settled for a decant. I purchased this from Sentira and I'm happy to receive this in a form of a decant. This is overly mossy or an oak moss dominated version of Hacivat, and with very minimal sweetness, and the citruses are also kind of very wonky over here. Initially when it got launched, the pricing was 3,500, 3,800. Now slowly this has come down to say 25, 2,600, but still at this price point I feel maybe there will be a segment of people who might like this. That segment is not me, certainly. If in case I really have to lean towards the Hacivat DNA, I would settle for something like Afnan Supremacy Not Only Intense any day. This has got the right balance of sweetness, citrusiness and oak moss for me. And heck, if I really have to spend a good amount of money and get a good perfume, I would get a full bottle of Hacivat, or I will get a decant of Hacivat, but not settle for Rasasi Hawas Black. It stays on clothes for a long duration of time, but kind of makes me feel irritated. But when it got launched, oh my god, people were again hyping it up a lot. Then the hype kind of started going down, and now 25, 2,600 you're getting Hawas Black. It's a more spicy and oak moss heavy version of Hacivat, and I didn't like it, and that is the reason I'm sharing it. If you share the preferences as I do when it comes to perfumes, and you're watching my videos for a long time, you will understand, and stay away from this if in case your taste aligns with me, and go for something like a Afnan Supremacy Not Only Intense, or even get a decant, man. This is a really good perfume. This is somewhere between Creed Aventus and Hacivat, and I just love it. I feel this is more versatile. The fourth one actually is going to be debatable. That's Nautica Voyage for me. This perfume from time to time sells for 2,500. Sometimes this comes down to 1,700, 1,500 even during different sales. But I still feel that this is a redundant perfume and nobody should get this perfume. I don't know why people have hyped it up. This is a designer fragrance. Maybe that is the reason. And what is that one thing this perfume is associated to? Guys, I mean, you watch any review online, you will see the word associated with it is fresh cheapy. Okay? Designer cheapy. Fresh designer cheapy. This is what is being associated with Nautica Voyage. Until and unless you're a brand fanatic and you want to spend your money on a brand just to get a designer fragrance, then only go for this. The only reason, I mean, the smell is really good. It's nothing to do with the smell of the perfume. Everything has to do with the performance of this perfume. If you're going to the gym and you want something to last like 2 to 2.5 hours on your clothes, get this one. This will merely project for like 30 minutes max, maybe say 40 minutes, that too with a very soft projection. The overall longevity that you're going to get is like 2.5 to 3 hours max with this perfume. And at this price point, spending 1,700-1,800 even on a discount and then getting a performance like this just because it's a brand, overhyped according to me. Okay. Still, if in case you want to go for something which smells fresh, as an alternative to this, you can go for Skin Raw. Although this is a bit more expensive, 2,600 for 100 ml. Small 20 ml bottle will cost you around 550 rupees, and this will still last you for 3 months easily. Projects better than Nautica Voyage, lasts longer than Nautica Voyage, and any day I would get this one. Even a bottle of Ajmal Shiro that I have lined up over here is a better option than this. In case you want something in budget, go for something like Blue Ocean from Arabian Aroma. Much better for the price that it comes at. 250 rupees to 300 rupees, you're gonna get something like this. Although the DNA is different, but still it's a refreshing perfume, something that you can wear to the gym. There will be an initial alcoholic blast because the perfume sells for only 250 to 300 rupees, but still better than Nautica Voyage in price to value ratio according to me. Still, if in case you want to go for something else, go for something like this. This is Yeah Man, like from Maison Alhambra's Yeah Man. This is a clone of YSL Y, fresh DNA. still better than Nautica Voyage. Although I'm not saying they are in the same ballpark, but still these are better options if in case you want something fresh. Don't go for Nautica Voyage in my opinion. This is my opinion, completely my opinion, and that is what I feel. And the last DNA that I want to talk about is going to be this one. I have a decan. This is basically Afnan 9 PM Rebel. Initially when the perfume got launched, okay, a lot of hype was created around the perfume. Even I made a video and I was kind of okay with it because the sweetness was like something that I didn't really like. It was more of a Creed Aventus meets Baccarat Rouge 540 kind of a DNA, and a lot was talked about the DNA. Okay, I personally felt that the perfume was not too much to my taste. I made a video about Afnan's Supremacy Not Only Intense Collector's Edition with Afnan 9 PM Rebel, because a lot of hype was created around this, said to be a clone of Creed Aventus Absolute or inspired by Creed Aventus Absolute. But in case of Afnan 9 PM Rebel, that is not the case. For Afnan 9 PM Rebel, I felt that was more Creed Aventus meets Baccarat Rouge 540, and the moment the perfume starts going into the dry down, it becomes overly sweet, at least for me. And somehow that sweetness kind of chokes me. But to some people, that is something that they really enjoy. And the performance and projection on Afnan 9 PM Rebel was, to say the least, it was awesome. But 2600 rupees seemed like a lot to me back then. And thankfully, after trying this two perfume out, I feel that 9 PM Rebel is now redundant for me, because these two perfumes that I'm going to talk about does the same thing at the fraction of the cost. One is Old Money coming from the house of Ababel. What a perfume, man. This almost is similar to that DNA, is less sweet. The pineapple is kind of very well refined over here. 9 PM Rebel, the pineapple was overly sweet on your face with some juicy notes of mango as well. Over here, this is dried. I mean, the blend is much better. I'm not saying they're exactly same. All I'm saying is, if in case you're looking for that 9 PM Rebel DNA, better settle for these, because I feel that they offer better price to value ratio according to my perspective. Okay. Now, Old Money sells for only 999 for a 50 ml. So technically this is around 2000 rupees for a 100 ml. Still, at this price point, you're getting a magnetic cap, very good presentation. The perfume lasts around 7 to 8 hours when applied on the clothes, project for almost an hour, and I feel is a really good option. A very well blended perfume in my opinion, and kind of makes the DNA of 9 PM Rebel a bit redundant in my opinion. And the second perfume that I want to talk about in the same DNA and sells for around 13 to 1600 rupees for a 100 ml is going to be Citrus Bliss, coming from the house of Vivian Luxury. This is a private blend, and I feel this is again very similar to Afnan 9 PM Rebel. The same Creed Aventus combined with Baccarat Rouge 540. That is what I feel about this perfume. Although this has some amount of alcoholic blast, but the projection on this one is, my god, much closer to that of 9 PM Rebel, and the longevity is also closer to that of 9 PM Rebel. This will project easily around 1 to 1.5 hours, and the overall longevity that I've received with this perfume is around 6 to 8 hours depending on the weather. But the problem is the sweetness kind of chokes me. That has been the case with Afnan 9 PM Rebel as well. Although with Old Money, that has not been the case. I mean, the sweetness over here was a bit more milder, something to my taste. So if I had to choose, I would have leaned more towards Old Money. But if in case you're looking for something that smells very similar to 9 PM Rebel or has got that same level of sweetness, I feel Vivian Luxury's private blend, which is Citrus Breeze. I've been calling it Citrus Bliss. This is Citrus Breeze. This is actually much better when it comes to the price to performance ratio. This was kind of like my part 1 for the overrated perfume series that I'm doing. In the future, I will bring in more perfumes that I feel is overrated. I want you to comment on the video and let me know if your opinion kind of resonates with me or your opinion differs for me, because perfumes are subjective, and I'm making this video because I feel that if your taste aligns with me, you will find this video to be helpful. And even if it's not aligning to your taste, I feel that after this video, when you test them out, maybe your opinion might change, and maybe you can come back to this video and either thank me or bash me. So if you have any queries or concerns with the perfumes that I have talked about, or any other perfume for that matter, use the comment section or connect with me via Instagram, which is Sense Saga Online, and I will try my best to answer all your queries as soon as possible. So with that, this is Deep signing off. I will see you on the next one very soon. Bye-bye.